We're gonna be looking at Charlie's penguinz0's moist criticals EDP445 apologizes.
EDP445 has issued an apology for the cupcake incident from 2 years ago. Not exactly the quickest response time, but it's a little bit faster than Valve responding to Team Fortress 2 issues. So I probably don't even need to give you the lore dump here. The story of EDP445's fall from grace is a more well-known story than Little Red Riding Hood by this point.
Facts.
But just in case, 2 years ago he was caught in a child predator sting operation, which also unearthed a lot of other repeated instances of him being inappropriate with minors in his community. For this, he lost his entire career, and since then he has desperately been trying to claw his way back to the internet because it's all he knows. It's his only home, so he pathetically comes back like every couple of months for the last 2 years, like clockwork.
Bro, you know what's crazy? Yeah, he has been coming back like clockwork, but also what's more insane is that it took him like all the times you came back to the internet. Like you even came back to the internet like the day after or like 2 days after that video dropped. You came to the internet like 2 or 3 days after that video dropped, didn't apologize. Every time he came back to the internet, didn't apologize, didn't take accountability, didn't do nothing. It took you 2 years? 2 years in kidney failure for you to fucking take accountability? Because the nigga's on dialysis. 2 years. 2 years and you not being able... Like, bro, come on. Be for real. Be for real.
New pitiful attempt at reviving his internet career. There's only a few certainties in life. Death, taxes, and EDP coming back when no one wants him to. He's posted videos on every platform that allows video sharing capability. I wouldn't have been surprised if he tried to make a career out of streaming on Xbox 360 Arcade Uno, where he used to let you use the Xbox fucking Connect or whatever in order to like have a webcam chat in Uno servers. Wouldn't have been surprised if he tried that. He has gone to every platform ever and has been banned from all of them. Because what EDP did is unforgivable. This is not something you can ever come back from. He should be counting his lucky stars he's not in jail. He must have had fairy godparents and they granted him one last wish and it was to avoid jail time. The only reason he's not there is because the investigation and all of the evidence was conducted online, so authorities usually don't use that in like actual prosecution or anything. So he must have collected all the fucking Dragon Balls and made a wish, and Shinron kept him out of jail. Because the amount of proof and evidence of not only the cupcake incident, obviously.
The thing is, like, when people go on their own, like, all that's, it's unfortunate, but it's all admissible. Like, you can't use that shit. That's the only fucked up part. It's like them going on their own hunt and their own sting operation is admissible because it's not used by, it wasn't like it's unsecured, like it's chain of command, isn't it? Like chain of command or something. What happens with like evidence and shit, all that evidence, the chain of command is so broken up and could have been altered anywhere. That shit'll get ripped apart in court. So all of that shit they couldn't use to begin with. Even if he's on footage and like admitting to him going there, they could not use none of that shit. It's so fucked up. It's weird. Like you clearly can see what his intentions were, but in a court of law, that shit is gonna get ripped apart, bro. And you gotta be able to use that shit in court to be able to charge him, like to not to charge him, but to like for him to be found guilty.
Where he actually went in person to meet a child for sex. Not only just that, but like a repeated history of having similar circumstances with being inappropriate with kids. All of this very well documented. The fact that all of that exists and he's not in jail is beyond a miracle for EDP.
Thanks.
And now he is once again doing his standard song and dance, trying to get back his internet career and find redemption. He's made a couple other videos in the past addressing it loosely, like where he's like eating a cupcake, so literally leaning into being a pedophile, I guess, and acknowledging it. And then only a handful of months ago, he made a statement on his website that was perhaps one of the wildest ideas ever cooked up by a human brain. He said that the whole cupcake incident, that whole scenario, was actually all acting. He was hired for an acting job to play a pedophile, and he committed to the role, and he had no idea it was going to be used as like a legitimate thing. He thought...
I hit the wrong button. Hold on. There it is. There it is.
Is this nigga serious?
It was a what? It was what, brother? It... Fuck it. Lie to somebody else, bro. Lie to somebody else, bro. Please, lie to somebody else, bro. Don't lie to me.
It was all just a Shakespearean play, basically. Just part of, you know, the acting craft. But this is the first video he's made where he's apologizing and talking about it, like actually talking about it. And I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, wow, finally, he's taking accountability. He's starting to, you know, grow now. And you know, maybe he can move on from this.
Listen. I don't care if you... Hey, listen. Accountability is great. But at the end of the day, you're not forgiven. It's just cool. You taking accountability for your fucking actions. Great. You taking accountability? Great. But nobody's gonna be like, oh, well, he acknowledged that he's fucking sick in the head. Let's just, you know, no. Right. Accountability don't change shit. Thank you for acknowledging it, but I don't give a fuck.
What a bunch of hooey. That is a load of fish paste. He doesn't, in his entire 8.5-minute apology video, he doesn't once refer to what actually happened. When
Really?
he's talking about being
I didn't even watch
in
it.
a child predator sting operation, he calls it that YouTube shit.
I want to take full responsibility for my actions that happened on April 21st, 2021. The entire YouTube shit that went down, the entire YouTube incident.
Wow.
You know what I mean? That went the fuck down. I'm not even going to get into it. You guys already know what the fuck happened. I'm taking full responsibility, full accountability for my actions.
He doesn't even say what he did and what he like is guilty of. He just loosely refers to it vaguely and brushes it off quickly. That is the opposite of taking accountability. He doesn't even fucking address it directly. Now, he states one of the reasons for the tardiness behind this apology is because he's been in talks with lawyers over the last couple of years about what he can and cannot say. And I'm just going to slap down the Phoenix Wright objection. I'm calling baloney.
Bullshit.
Because if he did have a team of lawyers behind him after all these years, I'm assuming they would have advised him to not make any of the statements he's made over the last couple of years. Especially the one where he faked emails to try and confirm that all of this was actually just an acting moment.
He
it was all
faked
just a
emails?
ruse.
Yo, this...
It was supposed to be a movie, not real. It's all fake. Or the other statement he made about how it never happened in the first place and just outright denying it. I feel like if there were lawyers behind him for the last couple of years, they would have told him, do not do that. But let's play ball with that idea for a second. Let's assume he's being truthful. If the lawyers have told him to not mention any of the specifics of the incident, then you can't come on this video and pretend like you're taking accountability or responsibility. If you're not willing to actually tackle what happened and what you are guilty of and actually talk about it directly, then you can't pretend that you're somehow taking accountability or responsibility in the situation.
Nah, facts.
I didn't want to talk about this apology video because I don't think there's any value here. I've already made a few videos talking about EDP over the last 2 years with every attempt he's made to try and come back to the internet. And this is just another one of those. A desperate Hail Mary to try and monetize an internet career again because it is all he has. It is the only home that he knows. So he keeps trying. But this is just not something that you can come back from.
Taking the proper measures and the proper steps forward to seek out help. To
We don't
try
care.
to, you know, get my head on right and to make sure that, you know, in the distant future that I do not hurt, you know what I mean, my loving, caring, supporting friends and family, because they are the ones that hurt the most. They are the ones that suffer the most.
No, they're not. The actual victims are. What do you mean? Yes, of course, they did get caught in the crossfire here from everything you did online, but you should really be apologizing far more to the actual victims. Not just the cupcake incident, but the actual children that you've been inappropriate with over all the years. He mentions that he's getting help to try and like not be a danger to children anymore, which is good taking those steps. But even if they do cure the pedophile, it doesn't mean that you can come back as some kind of content creator again. You cannot have an internet career again after what you've done.
Because trying to have that type of career again puts you in the position to do exactly what the fuck you did before. Use your internet clout to like pursue people that's underage. That's fucking ridiculous. Nobody's gonna let that shit happen. You didn't even go to the jail for what you did. You think you about to just come back on the internet? Now listen, you can serve your time in jail, but the internet don't forget. Sometimes the internet do, but like in a case like this, the internet is not gonna forget, bro. When it's not as big, you know what I'm saying? Cool, but you, my nigga, you're automatically EDP. You hear those 3 letters, you know exactly what the fuck is happening. You know this nigga was trying to sleep with fucking underage kids, fucking lying about cupcakes and shit. Fuck out of here. It's not gonna happen, bro.
Stop. There is no coming back from that. I do find it very upsetting that when he does make these attempts at comebacks, he does usually find an audience of delusional weirdos that downplay the severity of what he's done in his past. I'm talking about how like pedophilia is not even a big deal and there wasn't any real victims, which is categorically false. He may not have actually met a child during the cupcake incident. It was all a sting operation, but there were very real victims to EDP that most people seem to forget. Actual children he was being inappropriate with. Yep. There are victims. Like, it's not just that one time with the sting operation, the fucking Chris Hansen have a seat to catch a predator moment for EDP. There was many more. It's just not something you move on from. No. And he does mention at the very beginning of the video that he's come close to like hurting himself and ending it all over the last couple of years as a result of everything that happened with this whole situation. And he mentions that he's extremely remorseful for all of it and recognizes that it's all his fault. And he also mentions that his family has been harassed a lot from all of this. Okay. And overall, see that? Yeah, it's sad to hear that.
That I don't, unless they knew the nigga was a weirdo. You deserve all the hate that's coming towards you. But if you didn't know, you know what I'm saying? If you genuinely didn't know, you don't deserve to be harassed and, you know what I'm saying? Who's harassing his family? Niggas on the internet don't care, bro. They don't care. That's a little OD. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you was like harboring a nigga like, oh, he didn't do it, da-da-da-da-da, he's such a nice, all right, now bullshit. You deserve any amounts of hate that came to you. But if, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got distant cousins and shit. One of them shoot somebody or do something, and I haven't talked to this cousin in years. Don't come harassing me about this shit. Yeah, that's my family, but we don't even talk like that to be, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. There's boundaries, right? Like, boundaries of the family, like, especially if they didn't know. Now, if they're enabling that behavior, fuck them. If they didn't know, they didn't know.
But again, it is all your fault. You can't come back to the internet after all of this. You are a danger to children. You preyed on kids in your audience. You can't come back online from that. Yep. You should have been in jail, but got extremely lucky to avoid that. So you should have been satisfied with just being able to stay out of jail and completely cut ties with the internet. Buckle down in the real world and just do something else and never come back online. Now, I understand over the last 2 years he has tried getting other jobs, but some people have recognized him and felt unsafe because, shocker, child predators are a danger in society. So he did lose his job at his other couple of jobs he's had over the last couple of years, but that doesn't mean you just quit and then just go back to the internet to try and monetize there for your career. You cannot come back from what you did online, period. So you should have just kept trying to find a job that you can hold down where people aren't going to recognize and harass you, and just stay pursuing that. He also does mention that the reason he's making the apology is because he wants to eventually have redemption online, which I think what he's done is irredeemable. I really do. I feel like most people probably do as well. It's an unforgivable act. But he keeps trying. And I don't even think this apology is genuine. This feels once again like another plan of his to try and crawl back online because he has done it so many times before. This is not really taking accountability or responsibility. He keeps saying that it is, but he can't even address the actual issue itself. And like, not only the cupcake incident, he doesn't even mention the other victims outside of that either. So he doesn't actually even take any accountability or anything like that. So I don't even think it's coming from a place of like genuine remorse or anything. It really seems like it's coming from a place of desperation to find a career again online.
Yep.
So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't condone it. I don't believe in it, and I feel like take your L and go about your business, Playboy. You should have saved up some bread. You should have saved up some bread. You should have not been a fucking weirdo. You should have not been no fucking bro. All this could have been saved if you just wasn't a fucking weirdo. You know? And that's that, man. That's that.